Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and since it's my 35th birthday, I decided to do the birthday tag. Every year for the past couple of years I've done something booktube related for my birthday. When I turned 33, I recommended 33 booktubers. When I turned 34, I did 34 videos in April because I was turning 34. And I figured I couldn't continue that trend because it wouldn't make any sense to do 35 videos a month, then 36 videos a month, then 37 videos a month. That just sounds bad. Now we're just doing a tag. I looked up the original video for this tag, which then linked to something else on a website where I couldn't figure out who did the thing and if it was the original or not. So I don't know exactly where these questions originated, but I'm going to link them down below in case your birthday is coming up and you would like to do this tag. Also, I apologize in advance if the lighting gets weird in this video. I cannot stop the sun from rising. Prompt number 1 is Birthday Tag, a book with a plot that seems cliche, but you adore it anyway. For me, this is really just anything in the romance genre. When I was much younger, in my teens, in my early teens, I had the stereotypical thought on romance, which is it's all the same, why would you read the same thing over and over again? And it's not all the same. Sure, there are rules, such as it has to end happily, otherwise it cannot be classified as romance, but everything else in there are so many different subgenres of romance, there are so many different tropes, there are so many different writers, and that's why I'm really enjoying this genre as a whole. For specific writers, I really like anything that I've read by Alyssa Cole and Talia Hibbert. I recently read You Had Me at Ola, which was amazing, and The Roommate, which was also very good. And I don't know if this one is technically classified as a romance, it might be classified as a contemporary, whatever. Romeo and Jewel is also very good. That is a Romeo and Juliet reimagining, which in itself they are putting on a production of Romeo and Juliet but set to hip-hop music, and it's just really good. Prompt number 2 is Party Guests, your most anticipated release for the year. If you asked me this before last December, I would say One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, but I read it in December. It's amazing, you're going to love it. You only have like a month and a half left that you have to wait for it. It's so good. If you asked me before last week, I would have said Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas, because obviously I was going to read and enjoy this Peter Pan reimagining, but I literally just finished it. And since we seem to be talking about books that are coming out by authors that I previously had them be my top book of the year while I've been on BookTube, how about we go with Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid? I don't even know what this is going to be about, I just know I want to read it. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was my favorite read of 2018, and I cannot wait to see what else she is coming out with. Number 3 is Birthday Presents, a book that surprised you with how much you loved it. For this, a recent read would be A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. This is a YA contemporary romance about this girl who has had a hard time of it. She's had what she's called the trifecta. Her grandmother died recently and they were very close. Her boyfriend of 3 years broke up with her just before prom, and her best friend just left without saying anything for a 2-year trip. After she does something that scares her family, they decide that they are going to ship her from Florida to England for the summer, where she's going to hang out with an aunt and just get a change of scenery and hopefully be able to grieve and cool down and then come back to her life in Florida. She does not want to go. The weird thing about this one is I was both on her side because it seemed like people were just butting into her and not letting her grieve the way she wanted to, but also I was mad at her for not just wanting to take this trip, because I would love to be able to travel right now, especially if somebody else was footing the bill. This is about travel and food and falling in love with people and places and all of those good things, and I knew I was going to probably enjoy it, but I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. Number 4 is Happy Birthday Song, a book that deserves the hype that it got. At this point, I feel like there's a tiny little Audrey on my shoulders screaming, "Cemetery Boys!" Because they would be correct, obviously. But then anytime I answer Cemetery Boys in a tag, I always feel like I'm stepping on Audrey's toes, weirdly, even though it was my favorite book of last year. I also, of course, want to mention Evelyn Hugo. I want to mention Hench as well, which has gotten some hype. I had read it just before it came out as being one of the books that was going to be debated in Canada Reads, which I didn't watch this time around, just I didn't know it was happening until it was happening, but that book is really good. And then obviously another one that I read recently is The House in the Cerulean Sea. That one is getting so much hype. I knew I was going to love it. I didn't even really know what it was about besides like an orphanage on an island type of thing, and it was just so good. I loved all of the characters that you're supposed to love. The other characters that you're supposed to detest, I detested those characters. It was just written so beautifully, and I just want to visit those characters on their island. Number 5 is Happy Music, a book with some beautiful and very memorable quotes. I am not a quote person, at least not from text. I will remember song lyrics much more easily, even though I don't really listen to music, which means that in my head, song lyrics are mostly a jumble of songs my friends have written and musicals. That's a long-winded way of saying I don't have an answer for this prompt. I am, however, getting scared of what the sun is doing, so I'm going to move some curtains around and hopefully it will be okay for you. Number 6 is Getting Older, a book you read a long time ago but think you would appreciate more if you read it as a more mature reader. For this, I'm going to go with anything by John Grisham. I read a lot of John Grisham as a child and I remember enjoying it. I remember it wasn't above my reading comprehension level, but I'm assuming that I would pick up on more nuances or even more things in the plot that maybe I wouldn't have gotten as an 11-year-old. Why John Grisham? The novels were just around my house growing up. And the final prompt is Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. Firstly, I don't have a specific book because I don't think that you should be forcing yourself to be happy during a sad period in your life. You can do things that make you feel good, but you shouldn't be forcing yourself to be happy. And my answer is also a blanket answer in that books do this for me in general. If I'm feeling sad or down or just need an escape from whatever happens to be happening, books are that for me. Books are just a constant in my extremely bibliophilic life, which has spanned 35 years now. This is a very date-specific tag, so I'm not going to tag anyone particularly, but if you want to do this for your birthday, like I said, I have linked the questions down below because I'm not a monster. How would you answer these questions? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment, but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book as a birthday present. That wasn't sly at all, but I'm leaving it in. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!